It's time to make our thumbs a little greener. In today's episode of Wisconsin Wonder Garden, I wanted to show you the explosive growth and progress that we've been having in this mixed cactus planter. I am so happy with how it looks. I mean, just look at it. It's gorgeous. Everything is doing so well in this planter, and I expected it to, but a few people were not so sure for this one reason. All of these different varieties of plants are in one single large planter here. We have this beautiful aloe, we have some cholla cacti, some opuntia beaver tail cacti, an old lady cacti, sansevieria, some pencil cactus, and then a couple of succulents sprinkled in there too. And everything is doing great. Let's take a closer look and see what we've got going on here. But first, I'll show you a picture of what this looked like when we first got all of these plants in here. So as you can see, we've had a lot of growth throughout every single species that we have in here. Before I show you a close-up though, I'm going to tell you these are in an eastern facing window, so they don't get a whole lot of light. They do get some extra light from some of the grow lights that we have along our grow area here, but that's not going to be a lot, especially compared to natural sunlight. So even if you have an eastern facing window, you got these varieties in there. They should do okay as long as you make sure your watering schedule and fertilization, like a spring and fall fertilizing, is up to par. These plants will have no problem with an eastern facing window. So let's take a closer look at everything and see how they're all doing. I'm going to start off with this beautiful centerpiece of this whole display, which is this aloe. When we got this thing, it was less than half this size, and as you can tell, it is doing great. It is so happy. The only bad spots that we got on this whole plant is some little bit of tip burn on a couple of pieces of it. That's because we have it tucked up right up against the window. If you do have aloe, generally it is a precaution to not have it right up against the window for exactly that reason, is they will get tip burn in some cases. Besides that, it's doing fantastic. Love the way it looks. I am probably going to repot this soon, as it is kind of taken over this whole thing, and I want to get some more room for growth for sansevieria and then this beaver tail cacti. I want some more of those in this planter, and just want to give this bad boy some more room to grow. The taller cactus here is a cholla cactus, and again, those ones I propagated as well. This one right here in the front, you see the more barrel-like cactus. I'm not sure what variety that is, but it has, just like everything else in this planter, more than doubled in size since we've got it in there. It is doing wonderful. Couldn't be any happier with that. Got some beautiful color on it too. It is looking fantastic. The old lady cactus there is about the same size. It had bloomed a couple of times since we've got it in there, which I was happy to see. Really beautiful flowers. I don't think I have any videos of that. It's possible I do if I look back in my archives, but not really sure. Then we've got a beautiful sansevieria here that has been doing really good. These are slower growers, so we've only seen a few inches on that one. But one thing they have done is put out a couple of babies. We've got a pretty nice sized one there, and an even bigger one right here. Stay tuned, as I will be making a video on how you guys can propagate that. I have a propagation video on sansevieria, but just did not show how to do the rhizome division for propagation. The video I did have was for propagations like this, which is a single leaf cutting. I've got that growing in the soil. We don't see anything emerging from it yet, but the roots have established, and I'm looking forward to seeing how long it actually takes for this thing to shoot out of the soil. Turning this thing around, you can see that this beaver tail cactus is just thriving. It's a really fast grower, but no worries if you ever need to cut it back a little bit. Just take one of those tails and spin it off or cut it right off, and the plant won't see any negative side effects from that, and you can keep it nice and tight or keep it contained to whatever size you want it to be. Speaking of trimming and cutting, the cholla cactus that we've got growing over here is starting to dip over the edge a little bit, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to take a knife and cut off those portions that we don't want in the planter, just so it doesn't get overcrowded and it doesn't start growing too far over onto the glass where it might get burned in the future. So once again, we brought you guys a beautiful planter here on display. I'm so happy with everything we've been seeing so far on this. Stay tuned, as we're going to be making several videos on the plants that we have in here, different propagation and care methods, as well as some videos on these beauties that I just picked up today in Cedarburg at my favorite plant store there, which is called Weeds. I've picked up an Alocasia African mask, a Monstera and Alocasia. You see these beautiful leaves that are just starting to break apart here from the size. Then I also got one of those awesome dolphin succulents down here. So stay tuned, as videos on these plants are going to be coming very, very shortly. Thank you all so much for watching. I want to wish you a happy gardening adventure. We'll see you in the next video.